rocking with Texas!
He's a 10.
I choose this family.
Hey guys, and welcome to episode 43 of 911 Lone Star Roundup. I'm one of your hosts, EJ, and with me today are my lovely co-hosts, Katie.
Hi, guys.
And Grace.
Hi, everyone.
Today we'll be talking about our 911 Lone Star favorites from the first two seasons, from storylines to characters and more. We'll also be talking about what aspects we would like to see in season 3, and we'll be talking about the season 3 promo that we've recently gotten. We have a lot to talk about, so let's get talking.
Yeah, so much.
Like, where does the list start? Because there's so many.
There's so many aspects, but there's also a lot of things that I forgot about where I was like, okay, I'm gonna be honest, like I haven't watched Lone Star since like, May.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, because like
Lone Star took over my 911 took over my life.
Yeah, so like
and school.
Yeah, we definitely all have like just too many things in our life. Where like just watching 911 was like that was it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Stuff.
Yeah. Well, and I think because we had like it was like a year and some change before we got another season of Lone Star. So from between season 1 and 2, we had so many times to like rewatch season 1. Like a lot of us had that like memorized. And then when season 2 came, honestly, like I haven't had a chance to rewatch season 2.
Me neither.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I really want to before the new season starts. So I'm like, I better get on that because that's only a few weeks away.
I know. Yeah. Like, honestly, after we finish like all our whatever episodes we're going to cover before it comes back, that I'll start.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, I thought I would by now, but apparently not. But anyways, season 1.
Yes. Let's start there.
I guess. I don't know. Like I was kind of comparing the seasons, and season 1 kind of felt like meeting everyone and like the introductions in a sense. And then season 2 kind of like expanded everything, which obviously that happens after the first season.
Right.
And then I was like thinking about like which character did I fall in love with first? And I was like, okay, for me it was TK because like when I watched like the first episode, like it was like 5 minutes later. Oh yeah, I really like this guy.
Yeah, me too.
And then Carlos, of course.
Oh, yeah, Carlos and TK.
So I liked TK at first, but the first person I fell in love with was Carlos.
Oh, yeah.
And then I fell in love with TK.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was a little roundabout there, but I love both of them. It was just Carlos first.
Right. And it was so funny because I was expecting to so I came to the series because I knew who Rob Lowe was. And so that's why I was going to watch the series. So then I'm like, yeah, I liked Owen, but I'm like, TK was like my first, like, I'm like, oh, okay. So like the person he's doing CPR on at the beginning of the episode is his son. Okay, TK. I don't know. I felt like TK seemed to really know himself and he was proud of like, being gay, and there was nothing to hide from that. And he was comfortable in his own skin in that way. And I loved that. Granted, he had his own issues and he still does, but I love him anyways. And then Carlos, I thought it was cute. At first, I honestly didn't realize Carlos was going to be the cop for the series. The cop. That's been referenced in Awakening in episode 9. I because I assumed that we'd probably get like a police sergeant or something. So to have him just be a patrol officer was cool. And then have the friendship that he had with Michelle kind of drew me in. And I'm like, okay, so you're not just a one and done. This like you're the actual person we're getting. Cool. I like this guy. And his like witty banter with Michelle was pretty cool too.
Yeah. Okay. Funny story. I liked Carlos and Michelle's friendship. Like I liked seeing it, but I didn't like Michelle for quite a few watch throughs of the show.
Yeah. I mean, I never disliked Michelle, but she definitely like looking back, I never loved her either.
Yeah, it was a complicated relationship. Like I didn't necessarily hate her, but I definitely didn't like her character until maybe I watched the show like 10 times through, which is kind of crazy. And stuff. It's like kind of one of those characters where like you're like she's on the show and you're like she's okay, and then now that she's on the show you're like I kind of miss her.
Yeah
Yeah, I mean, I can see that. I don't know. It was a give and take with her just because like I liked her as a character, as a paramedic captain. I liked her as kind of the banter she and Owen kind of constantly had when at the beginning. But then, a lot of her storyline wrapped around her sister and her like obsessive search for her sister.
See, I get everything behind that, but also at the same time, I felt like we never got to know her.
Right. And that's what I felt like. Is like we got to know like all of things about like her sister and her friendship with Carlos and stuff. But then it was like all we knew from her was really she was looking for her sister. So there didn't seem like I really got to know much about her until later in the season when she mentioned that she dated Billy.
Oh yeah, that definitely.
I forgot about that.
I did too until you mentioned it, but yes, that makes a lot of sense. Like them dating. I don't know, it just makes a lot of sense to me.
Oh man,
can you imagine come back and take him away? Anyway,
there we go.
This is the one time I acknowledge that the end of season 2 Billy existed. Anyway,
yeah. Moving on.
We'll get to that.
Yeah. So in our, we've talked a little bit about characters. Like, what about episodes? Like, are there specific episodes that you like? I love this one.
Okay, like obviously, I'm gonna be like all the episodes are great. Like for season 1, like obviously, but the ones which my favorites are like 6 episodes. But like the ones that really stand out to me are 3, 4, 8, 9, and 10, but I'm actually gonna add 2 because that's also like a favorite. Just so many good episodes. So like as I rattle off like 10 episodes practically.
Yeah. I think for me, like aside from episode 6 and 7, which I was not a fan of just because of the drama with Billy, I think I liked most every episode. And I think I even liked elements of 6 and 7 too. So like of the season, I think it was a well-built first season for this show. And like, sure, I didn't like seeing TK get shot, in 7, but
8.
Was it 8?
Yeah, it was 8.
Yeah, it was 8 because 9 was Awakening and that was the one right after.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. It's hard to pull out. So I would say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, and 10. There you go. And just like, 6 and 7 were definitely my number 2 number low ones.
Oh yeah, agreed.
For me, I love basically all of them, but in particular, 2, 4, 8, and 10 would be my favorites. Just, episode 2 has always been really up there. I just really love the episode. Same with 4. I really liked the tornado.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
That was a particular good one. Yeah. And again, just like you said, 6 and 7, they were okay, but the whole drama I could have done without, even if it did set the stage for later on. And 8, of course it was good, even if, part of the reason it was good was the heartbreaking fact of TK getting shot.
Right.
And then just 10 was a 10 the whole way around.
Because he's a 10.
Carlos is a 10.
He is. And they're impressive. I loved how we got that in several versions, like episode 1, episode 10.
Yeah.
And then, 20 something, 208.
Yeah. He's an impressive guy.
I will say it here so I get it on record. Could Billy have the lightning? Could have killed Billy in 7, and then that would have been fine.
But see, I liked him the first half when he came into season 2.
Why did that disappoint us like that? Like, okay, and like, I honestly, when people are like, "Oh, let's just kill Billy now," like, I don't like that because like they're not gonna do that because like he was like, "Oh, are you gonna kill me?" Like, I don't want to come back for you to do that. So like, obviously, they're not gonna do that.
Right. I don't know. They might. I mean, it just depends on what Billy as the actor is doing. But
yeah. Well, he's not like a main character. They don't have to keep him around. Like,
right.
But like killing him would just be stupid. Like,
yeah.
There are a lot of other ways you can get rid of the character without that.
Yeah,
right.
It's just like too predictable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, aside from episodes and characters, are there specific storylines or like aspects of this show in season 1 that we really liked?
I mean, I really liked TK and Owen's relationship and stuff like as father and son because I feel like that really hasn't really been done like this before. Like obviously there've been like father and sons like on shows before, but like not as like first responders from what I remember and
Yeah, I
stuff.
can't remember any.
I can't think of any. Like, there have definitely shows where there have been like siblings. Like, one might have been like a firefighter and one might have been like a cop. But I can't think of like shows where they have a father-son duo. So that was like one of my favorite aspects of season 1.
One of the only ones I can think of is Station 19 because it wasn't a father-son, it was a father-daughter.
Yes,
the captain at the time and his daughter was a firefighter.
Yes.
I can't remember character names off the top of my
feel like
head.
they rarely could I feel like they rarely could successfully pull off the dynamic of having them both be in the same station, which they managed to do here.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of places don't let that happen, like in reality, just, and some places don't care, but I don't know. They
don't want emotional complications.
Yeah. Because, one goes in and gets stuck. The other one like is going to pull a buck and
yeah, about that.
See, we don't just make references in 911 episodes about Lone Star. We also do it the other way around.
We do. I loved the grain silo rescue. I thought that was pretty cool. And stereotypical Texas. I did love the storyline with TK and Owen's relationship and seeing them in all aspects of their relationship, not just on the job or just at home.
Yeah.
Other storylines I liked. I did like them exploring Mateo's dyslexia and helping him, helping him finally move forward after being held back so much.
Yeah,
which it's explored in 6 and 7. I feel like it gets buried in the quote unquote worst episodes of the season, and that's sad. But like, I really like that little storyline.
Right.
Yeah, agreed. I feel like they did do like the stereotypical Texas things, but I feel like it was the first season they had to do like something. And like I know a lot of people complained about it, but like they kind of have to. Like it's kind of like a staple where you're gonna have to make fun of it a little bit if you're gonna be there, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, LA does a lot with like Surfer, or it has done a bit with Surfer and water and that kind of thing. It's just how it does, as well as, just crazy. One thing I would like to say that Lone Star has a gigantic edge up on 911. They actually addressed PTSD.
Oh yeah.
They addressed Judd's PTSD, or as it should be, PTSI.
Yeah.
Right.
And I really liked that. I loved how they kept on that storyline.
Yeah, I agree. Like, and also like Judd was like one of the probably first few characters I also really liked, because that's why I think I like gravitate towards Lone Star more, is because they show the struggles of each character and show that each character has struggles. And like regular 911 does do that too, but like I feel like Lone Star just goes to a whole nother level with it. Like, and
to be honest, I feel like 911 just has far more to keep up on.
Yeah.
Like they have so much more to juggle that they let other things slip through the cracks. Well, Lone Star feels more closely managed.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I did like Judd at the beginning, and I still do. I love Judd. I was a little skeptical at the beginning, just the way he was treating Owen. But then as like the episode moved through in the pilot, and then kind of him coming together at the end.
Yeah, at first I was like, I don't know if I really like this guy. Yeah. Then I realized that he was basically a grumpy, cuddly teddy bear, and then I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I know the character I fell in love with too, Grace.
Oh yeah, 100%.
We cannot forget Grace. She's amazing.
Oh my god. Oh yes, and welcome to Texas, Captain.
I love her.
Yes.
I think her relationship with Judd actually made me like Judd more.
Oh yeah, because
100%.
Even in the beginning, before we saw it more, she brought out the best in him. And we love that.
Yeah, and again, they had some great calls, like story calls. They had the tornado buster, different calls. I don't think there's a character, aside from Billy, that I can say I hated in season 1. I mean, Marjan and her storyline. I mean, bringing in...
we can't forget Marjan.
Marjan, Paul.
Paul, I love him.
Love them.
Oh, yes, Paul.
And the storylines. I loved how... Because, you were saying that about, like, 911 and 911 Lone Star being, because Lone Star having kind of a leg up. I think they're like, I don't know, the writing is just almost, I wouldn't say better. It's more well-rounded, I guess you could say.
It's more thorough.
Yeah. Like
There are a
pulls
few
in
things.
more.
There are a few things I'd say that they have skimped a tiny bit on, but on the most part, they've kept up, and we like it. We love to see it.
Here for it.
And I just hope they keep up with it, because I feel like it's easier to lose track of a show the longer it's on. And already I feel like we did see a tiny bit of that in season 2, because they were juggling a lot of storylines.
Mm-hmm.
So I just hope they don't sabotage themselves in it.
Right.
It'll still be good, but yeah.
So are there storylines in season 1 that we haven't really gotten a lot to talk about in season 2 that you want to see in season 3?
Okay, well, the first thing I could think of is in season 2, they kind of skipped out on like the TK Owen relationship compared to season 1.
I will never forgive them for that particular.
Which I was very disappointed. Like they basically just put like TK. They put Owen and Gwen like in this like whatever that was for like the first
whatever that was.
Yeah.
That's a relatable move though.
Yeah, they basically just put like Gwen and Owen and that was like very disappointing, because like we hardly got TK and his mother, and then we hardly got TK and Owen, and that was the one thing that I absolutely loved about season 1 and just the series in general.
Yeah.
And when they did give us TK and Owen, they screwed it up.
Yeah, they made it like it's just, but like they did make up for having like seeing like this bonding of this of the team and stuff like that. Like I did enjoy that, but like I wanted like that and stuff.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But yeah, and like what I did like is like I would call this season 2 actually like the friendship season, because we saw like a lot of the like Paul, Marjan, Mateo, TK, and Carlos hanging out and stuff. Like we saw like that, where we didn't really see that really in season 1. The only thing we got like somewhat close to that was like TK, Paul, and Carlos going to the club in episode
oh yes
5.
I want to see it.
Studs, whatever episode that was.
Yeah, 5. I can literally like tell you like what happened in one episode for season 1 because I've seen it so many times. But season 2, I'm not quite there since I haven't rewatched it in a while. But
it depends on the episode.
Yeah, I don't know. I just have watched season. Like I used to watch season 1 like during that time.
We watched it so much.
I watched it like almost every day. So
yeah. One of the things I would like to have them talk about again or bring up is Marjan and the hijab gate issue we talked about in episode 3 with the silo. Yeah. And then the relationship she has at her mosque, and find out how that's going. Like she didn't want to leave that mosque. And then like the only real Marjan storyline we got in season 2 was we got Salim coming in, and then a little bit about the Firefox kind of issue towards the end of the season. So I would like to see like how her relationship with the women at her mosque is going.
I always find it weird that like in episode 3, when the crossover, Eddie and Marjan were having like this thing, and Marjan then an episode later we find out was engaged to a man. Like what the heck?
See, everyone saw that as like flirting stuff. I always just saw it as banter.
It was like banter. It was friendly, but it wasn't like no, they weren't gonna have a relationship or anything. But it was definitely like it wasn't not like any bit of flirty. It was definitely more like friendly banter. But I just think it's funny how like
it was like almost flirty friendly banter, and I've done it with people before. So like
it's just funny that we didn't know that.
It is, yeah. And so, I would love to see more of, how her balance between her faith and her job is going. And I'm trying to figure out any other key storyline. Okay, what I would have liked to have seen in season 2, I know we learned what happened with Michelle, but I would have liked to have had a little bit more, like other than a brief mention, because she was a main character in the first season.
Yeah.
And so I would have loved to have just had a tiny bit more answer / closure to her, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Michelle was going to be one. Definitely some closure of some kind, or just a little bit more, because they kind of really glossed over it in the beginning of season 2. Another one I was thinking is Judd's dad and him, because he's obviously not living with Grace and Judd, so he chose not to. So like, in season 1 is when his dad fell through the coffee table, and so how's that going on? Yeah. And then I was thinking, so in episode 8, PK made the comment, well, it beats getting shot, when he's laying in the hospital bed with the concussion from getting, hit with the gun. But that's really the only mention we have of him getting shot. And I can't believe he just got through it like a snap,
Yeah. Well,
so I would like to see him at least talk about it or mention it or something.
Yeah.
Or him and Carlos talk about it, or wake up from a nightmare from it or something. I don't know. Just.
That's a good point. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. I mean, like I feel like it has to be brought up at some point, because that boy has gone through enough trauma in his life.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, like it definitely needs to be brought up at some point. And I think we saw it a little bit at the end of season 1, because he was struggling a bit after getting shot, and he was thinking about like leaving and stuff because of it and stuff. But yeah, we really haven't got any follow-up like this past season or anything.
Yeah, like how's he doing now?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know we saw Judd and Grace going to counseling briefly. So I would like, and I know that that was kind of the deal with TK living with Owen, was that he was going to get clean and stuff. So I'd kind of like to see TK maybe seeing a counselor or something.
More therapy storylines.
Yeah, or at least addressing the fact that he's still seeing a therapist or a counselor, or he's going to AA meetings. Obviously he's going to AA meetings, or he wouldn't have gotten the 1-year chip.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things where I had been wanting that since like before last season even started, because we knew he was going to AA meetings, because he mentioned it literally in the first episode when they first got to Texas, that he was going to go to a meeting. But we never saw anything, and I was just so disappointed.
I'm like, and they do it for Bobby, so let's do it for TK.
Oh, yes.
So season 2, I know like we've all kind of mentioned that we don't have them as memorized as season 1, but are there episodes that stand out to you in season 2?
Gotta point out the elephant in the room, 8 and 12.
8 and 12,
yeah. 8 and 12.
8.
Crossover, definitely.
Of course.
Crossover, of course. I did like 4 too.
4.
Yeah.
Any episode we got a lot of Tarlos in, I'm all for.
100%.
Oh, there's a storyline from season 1 that we got that I want more of. Tarlos.
There will never be enough.
Manifesting season 3 is going to be a Tarlos season. It better be.
Ronan has made references to it. We're holding him to it. Like, come on, boy. Don't fail us.
Mr. Spoiler King over there.
Okay, he's not as bad as he usually is, but I can imagine it's going to get a whole lot worse.
Which makes me more suspicious.
Yeah, because like when it starts airing, he's probably going to be more free about how he can like tease things. So I'm definitely anticipating us being like, Ronan, what the heck?
Right.
Ronan!
Yeah, Ronan.
Ronan. Exactly.
Ronan in Rafa's voice. Ronan.
So, we didn't even have to preface that. It's just the fact that we could have said it like that, and the whole fandom would have known exactly what we meant.
Yes. Season 2, let's see. I definitely liked the couple of episodes that we saw where the teams were hanging out together, like you mentioned earlier, Katie. That was
we
awesome.
Always need more team bonding.
Yeah, and it shows that they've kind of become a family.
Yeah,
it's more of an element of episodes than just the episodes, but I could do a little less with Gwen and Owen.
Oh, please, dear God, no. It's not. I'm sorry, but we're all thinking it. I swear, we already know she's like coming back in some capacity, but
I think it's a very minor capacity.
I think it's gonna be like for maybe like the first episode or first 2 episodes. I don't think it'll go anything beyond that. But like, please, just like And just imagine she goes back to New York and she gets back together with Enzo. Okay, that settles that for me.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'm totally okay with that.
That's
Or she's
fine.
just like too busy being a single mother. Okay, I'm good with that as well. Just anything. Like
she only has a little bit of reason to go back to Texas, and that's because she does have a son. And
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
yes,
technically she has 2 sons, but yes, she has one in Texas.
Yes. Literally just me forgetting about the baby for a moment. But yeah.
Other than that, yeah, basically. What I would like to see more, and these are also like things I liked about season 2, is like seeing Carlos's family dynamic with his parents.
Yes.
I loved that, and we need more of that. Throw TK in there. Just throw a whole party and bring Carlos's siblings in because we know he has them. There's no way he's an only child. He does not give off the vibe.
Tia Lucy.
Oh yeah, bring
dinners
Tia
at
Lucy.
Tia Lucy's.
Okay, Tia Lucy, we must meet her.
Yes.
If they do not
I love how everyone's obsessing over like the one character mentioned like what was it? Once, twice?
Episode 1 or 2.
Okay,
yeah.
This I actually do know. They mentioned her in episode 2 of season 1, and they mentioned her again in 204.
Yeah. Gabriel said, "See you at Tia Lucy's" or something like that.
Yeah,
I thought so.
Yes.
I'm just like, I love how we're just obsessing on this one character that we know nothing about. Just casual.
Well, it's so crazy because so many people are like, I wonder if he's related to Eddie in some way.
That is
okay. Just because they're Hispanic and from Texas does not, or Hispanic/Latino and from Texas does not mean they're related.
Okay,
exactly.
El Paso and Austin are so farther,
8 miles or 8 hours apart.
Yeah, it actually takes less time to get from El Paso to like LA than it does to Austin to there.
Yep.
Yes.
So I always find it funny when people like say stuff like that and stuff, and just like the whole Eddie in Texas thing. Oh, it's funny.
Yeah. I mean, I can see some relation. Like, Grace and I have even hinted to it in our story.
Yeah.
That, there could be a connection, but there's other ways there could be connections too. And yeah, you're right. Like it's, I think 8 hours. I don't know, to cross Washington State for me is like 5 hours. So like I can cross the entire state and still not get from Austin to El Paso.
Yeah.
And it's like 8 hours. So yeah, it's a huge difference. And so it's slim that they would be related.
Yeah, also, like, I also find it funny that, like, I don't know if you guys remember this, but before the crossover premiered, everyone thought that, like, Judd and Eddie would know each other.
Again, just because they're from the same damn state does not mean... Oh, man. I mean, like, I would have been okay with either of those, but at the same time, like, just the fact that there was such a strong expectation, it's like, guys, do you know how big Texas is?
Yeah,
like it's
and yeah, they were familiar with each other's school. That's it.
Right. Oh yeah, Judd's school used to compete against Eddie's in football.
Whoop their ass.
Okay. Eddie begins. Can we see this?
Yes, exactly. Another thing I'd really like to see is Carlos working with his dad.
Oh yeah,
and I love that Gabriel is a Texas Ranger.
Oh yeah,
because to me, outside of Walker Texas Ranger, we haven't really gotten a lot of series where they talk about being a Texas Ranger. And I've recently found out that Texas Rangers are much like the US's FBI, so they deal with a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I would love more exploration into that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, definitely.
And I do agree. I definitely want to see more of Carlos's family because he's not an only child. He cannot be an only child.
He does not give that vibe.
No, he doesn't. Does not at all.
Yeah, there's honestly no character that I can think of that on the show that I think is an only child.
Right. We know Paul is definitely not an only child. He has a sister.
We already met that.
We already met her, so yeah.
Yeah, true.
I can't remember if Mateo's mentioned siblings. Mateo or Marshawn. Have they?
They haven't, but I feel like they have siblings.
Yeah,
I just do.
Yeah. No, they give sibling vibes.
Yeah. Another thing from season 2, for sure, season 2, I definitely want to see how Tommy is dealing with losing Charles and the girls losing Charles.
Yeah.
Can we handle more of that, please?
Yeah.
That's a big life change for the family. I'm sure, as we saw at the end of season 2, she's coming to the fire station and hadn't said that she'd made the decision to stay because the girls wouldn't let her quit, and just dealing with like how the 126 family steps up to help her, if it's babysitting the kids. And can we get some more TK and Carlos
I want Carlos babysitting.
Oh, please.
Like, let's make that official, please.
Yeah, exactly. I still think it's hilarious that like the girls come, it's like Carlos, and they totally like ignore Judd, who's their godfather.
Yeah,
we love that.
That's like the only good part of that end scene.
Yeah.
Okay, there is one other one. Mateo's not going to be a probie anymore.
Oh yeah, that's good too. But like, those are like the only few parts of that scene that I just. Those are the parts that I watch them, and then Billy walks in. I'm like, okay, let me turn off the TV.
we ignore it happened. We're in denial.
So we've just been kind of pretending that it hasn't happened. So what's going to happen at the beginning of season 3?
That's a good
projecting Bowen and everyone lives happily ever after. Sorry, had to.
Oh, why did I have to ruin something that we created?
There's a lot in season 2 to even like. I'm so glad we got more episodes. I know we should have gotten an 18 episode season. I'm glad we got at least the 14.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that season 3 is going to be a full 18 episodes so that they actually get a full season.
Yes. Yeah, agreed. Like, I'm so excited for that and stuff. Like, just very excited. Like, I might not sound like super excited right now, but I'm just very excited. I just
any of us have the energy
about it. Trust me, and in 3 weeks, we will be like screaming so much about it.
Right. Yeah. Well, we're saving our energy for then.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so speaking of we keep talking about season 3. So I think we've talked a little bit about season 1 and 2, and we've kind of already gotten a little bit of a promo or two from Lone Star. So should we maybe talk about that a little bit?
Our squeals could be heard for Galaxies when the promo dropped.
Yeah, so we see a kid running with skates and a hockey stick. So obviously this is some sort of I don't know, it's gonna be on a lake or a river or something. So we obviously know something's going down there. And then it's Grace, I believe it's Grace, saying 911, what's your emergency? And then we see Owen in this cowboy hat and stuff. Winter vibes.
We love it.
Yeah.
He looks like he's in a cabin or something. He's got the wood on the walls. It doesn't look like a finished place or.
Oh no, it doesn't look like his house. Definitely not.
Yeah, definitely not.
I'm is he on vacation?
Right.
I kind of made a storyline just now in my head. I was just imagine the team going out to a cabin for some type of 126 bonding, let's get the house back, blah blah blah. And yeah, that's what I envisioned in my head, and I was like, oh, that would be a good fan fiction.
Oh yeah.
I kind of envision Owen just deciding to take a sabbatical or something and just going out in the middle of nowhere. But I love we saw Buttercup in this.
Yeah, and
oh my gosh, best part of the entire
this day. Nobody has really pointed that out legitimately. I'm just it's funny because we didn't even notice it right away.
Right.
Yeah, and TK's driving the ambulance. Yeah, and then of course, predictable, we see the kid fall in
to the pond, lake, whatever this iced over.
Hello, hypothermia. Anyway.
Yeah.
Because, the whole premise is that it's the big chill. So it's a big snowstorm blizzard thing happening in Texas, which represents what happened in February of 2020 or 2021. Sorry.
Yeah.
For a moment, I completely forgot what year that happened then.
Me too.
That's where I'm at right now.
Yeah, honestly. And then we get a glimpse of Owen and then Tommy, and then Owen says this is Captain Strand requesting emergency assistance. So he has to be I don't know exactly where, but it has, I don't know.
He's in Texas.
Well, yeah, but
I don't know, I had to say that.
I don't know, but then we see TK crawling on the ice to obviously save this kid,
right?
And then Tommy yells something at TK, and I couldn't make out what it sounds like, but it was like almost sounded like snow lookout or I don't know. And then like TK falls in rescuing the boy, and I find it funny that like everyone is freaking out about TK falling in. They're like, oh, he's gonna get hypothermia, he's gonna be this, he's gonna be that, and I'm like, come on, people, chill out. Like this is the most they're trying. They're trying to literally, that's what they want. They want you to freak out. So I feel like this is gonna be super drawn up, where it's really
I'm not concerned, to be honest. I'm like,
I'm not either.
I'm not either.
Okay.
Not either at all.
We've watched.
So he falls into some ice water.
Yeah.
He'll throw a
He'll
blanket
and he's
on
not
him.
doing it alone either. He'll be fine.
Right.
Guys, he's from New York. He can handle this.
Yeah.
Precisely.
And I think this is the promo that when just as he was falling in the ice, I remember pausing at the screen and I saw the Paragon paramedic patch on his jacket.
And he's even said in an Instagram post since then that Paragon.
Yeah, which
so I guess my theory with that is that Owen and them move kind of out on the outskirts of Austin and like start working as like a paramedic team or something on the outskirts.
I googled Paragon Paramedic Texas one day just to see if like anything would pop up. Like obviously it's like some sort of like company, like I think it might be like a private ambulance company, but like I'm still like, going on?
I'm still a little confused, to be honest.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, well, because I know around here, like, you know, we in the big cities we have the city medics, but then on a lot of the little outskirt towns they have like rural ambulances. So that's what it makes me feel like that vibe was giving me. It was like a rural like area.
Yeah.
That's the vibe I was getting, but I don't know. We'll see. I'm excited. We got a few weeks. We'll find out what's going on.
Yeah. And then like Owen stands outside the house, this is when we saw Buttercup and stuff. And like I'm like, oh yes, like, and like yeah, there were like no like visible clues. You really just had to like narrow in on it.
Yeah.
To know that.
And that was an interesting promo, but like I was glad we got it when we did.
Every time something was released, I would write down when it happened because I wanted to kind of make like a timeline. So like it was teased. There was a teaser on November 1st. Then the date was confirmed on November 8th. And then on also November 8th, this promo was released. And then the next one we got was on December 6th. So I've been making like little notes here and there just to know like some sort of timeline and stuff. But yeah, we did get a second promo, which when this released, somebody had posted about like, oh, Lone Star dropped another promo, and I'm like, what are you talking about? They already did that like a month ago, and I Googled it to make sure it was actually legit, and it was. I don't trust people clearly, because sometimes I think people are like, no, that's bullshit. Oh no, it happened.
Yeah.
And this one was more of an expanded than what the first one was that we'd gotten.
Yeah, actually. Yeah, like the one we previously just talked about, that one was 30 seconds. This one is also 30 seconds, but it like expanded on the things that they showed in that promo, and they also showed some new things. Like I think my favorite part, so like we see Owen, and then we see Owen and Buttercup running through a snowy field, and the fact that they used Buttercup like several times in this promo just made me so happy, because I was like, finally, you're using Buttercup in the spotlight he should be used in. Buttercup, like, for me,
he deserves main character casting.
Yes, he does. Yes. Make Ben a lead character.
Oh my god, please. Oh my god, yeah. Like Bernese Mountain Dogs, the thing about them is they love being like outside, and they love being in nature.
Yeah. And they like being in the cold too.
Yeah, which makes sense. They have like a double like thick coat. So I'm just so ready for all the Buttercup. Like they really lacked in season 2, and I'm still slightly bitter about that. But I'm hoping that this is going
storyline we want to see continued in all the seasons. Buttercup.
Yep. And we need some more Tarlos and Buttercup siege. Just saying.
I was just about to say, like, I'm gonna manifest that season 3 is going to be the Tarlos and Buttercup season.
It better.
Please.
we're begging. And then we got a voiceover, which was probably from like a news report, and it said a record-breaking winter storm continues to hit Texas. And then this is when we see Owen and Buttercup find a person, and Owen asks the person if they can hear him and stuff. And then the same song from the first promo plays. It's like Cold as Ice. And I was just like, okay, they really, really nailed it there with that.
Yeah, they did.
Like, it just gives you chills watching it.
Chills.
Yeah, little chills. And then like TK steps out of the ambulance, and obviously we know like Paragon ambulance, paramedic, and Kid falls in the ice, and then we get Marjan. Oh, yes, Marjan. She's like to Owen, we can't do this without you. So I'm assuming, like, I don't know what's going on, but, like, I'm assuming, like, maybe, like, he's somewhere, they're somewhere, like, I don't know. All I hope is Mateo gets out of that terrible.
Yes, I hope so
terrible
too.
Station, because he deserves better.
Yeah, hopefully he's not put back in there.
Yeah, and stuff. And then we see Owen and then like a couple other people in the background who I'm like, okay, who are these people? Watch they just be like nobody, and I'm just like, okay.
Right.
And then we see like TK on the snowy ground, and like it looks like, which with the whole ice thing, it looks like he's holding on to a rope, which makes sense, but like yes.
Oh yeah, it looked like he had like a harness on, like the rope was attached to like his waist or something.
That's like he's
not going to go out onto the ice without that,
right?
Yeah,
I mean, he would, but I imagine they would make him put it on.
Flashback to 103 when he takes off the whatever the rope thing when remember? Yep. Yeah, that could reappear. But we see Tommy and Nancy like holding the harness, so I'm like, okay, like holding like the end part and stuff as you do. I think TK tries to pull himself because like he starts falling in or whatever, and then like Owen's like doing whatever, and he's just like, all right, everyone, let's go. And then we see Carlos carrying somebody, which there have been so much speculation about this. Like, first it's TK. People have said to me recently they think it's Grace, and I'm like, it's not Grace. Like, I've zoomed in on the body, and there's like the American flag patch on the arm, so I'm thinking it's I'm thinking it might be a first responder, possibly, just because of that detail, but it's not Grace. Like, it doesn't look anything. Like, I looked at the shoes, I looked at everything. Okay, is this surprising? No.
And I don't think it's TK either because of the shoes.
Yeah, agreed. Because like
they're sneakers, they're not
sneakers, which is why I didn't think it was Grace either, because like those look like man's shoes. I'm sorry, but they do. Not that like they do
to me, but I know those feet looked smaller, which is the only reason I think it might be Grace, but I don't know. Like that, we see the feet. You cannot tell who a person is from the feet.
Right.
No, but like just like the other details, and also like the person looks a little too long to be her, and also just doesn't add up, I think.
I mean, at this stage, is there a pregnancy bump? Okay. But yeah. I know, I'm curious about that, but like I'm not hugely flipping out other than, oh, it's Carlos.
Yeah, good to see Carlos. And then
I'm just happy to see the curls.
Oh, yes. Can they stay? Curls. And then we see a firefighter falling backwards, kind of like when they're like outside, so like and stuff, like that adds up. And then like
did that look like it was on the top of a plane, or was I just seeing things?
A plane? No.
Yeah,
I'd have to go back and look.
It looked like almost like a hill to me.
Okay, yeah, I couldn't
like a mountain,
because it happened so quick.
Yeah. Oh, trust me, I was like pressing pause every 2 seconds.
Right.
And then Owen, like either voiceover or whatever, and he's like, I don't know if I can fix the world, and then it like continues on. But then we see Grace, and she looks in distress, which I know everyone's like, oh, she's having a baby, and I'm like, I don't think so. And then
I mean, granted, that does sort of it looks like that, but I don't
that's what they want you to think.
Right.
And like okay, this has been another thing that has been speculated, and I looked at, so she's holding somebody's hand, and I like compared hands, so like everyone's saying it's Judd's, but like that does not look like his hand. Like I compared like pictures from previous seasons and stuff, and then I had a few people telling me it was Carlos, and I'm like, okay, it doesn't look anything like his hands either. And
Watch it be Jen. I'm just saying, like, I feel like this is being overanalyzed almost. Like, I'm impressed, but I'm very impressed by this level of dedication.
Yeah, it's because people are like,
I've watched the promo twice.
Well, yeah, it's because people are like, it's Carlos. And I'm like, let me just tell you why it's that.
Okay, I would see it being Jen, I'd see it being Carlos. Like,
yeah. Well, I don't honestly. I think it might be like it's either somebody random or it's like Owen, which I kind of see it more so being somebody random because I don't know. It just certain things aren't adding up to me, and I don't know. Like,
I feel like we know so little.
That's we don't. Yeah, I don't know, but like from what I see, I don't think it's either of them.
Okay, I'll be interested to see. We'll have to prepare so many notes when this comes out. Like,
yeah.
Okay, well, so what was called?
What did we get right?
How much did Katie get?
Yeah,
because we're pretty good at theorizing and picking out literally every detail of anything. Katie's a master at it.
Yeah,
I try to be.
Yeah.
And then we see Judd in the fire truck. And then we see Buttercup, Owen, and some person that he was carrying go inside. And then we see Tommy and Mateo in the blizzard. And Mateo's helmet, which maybe this is just like my observations. I'm looking too much into it, but it looks like it says the 126, which absolutely means nothing. Like he could just still be using that. But I saw what I saw.
Right.
Maybe, honestly, I can't say because I didn't get a good enough look.
Yeah. And someone's lighting a torch or whatever, like a torch. And then Owen's with like some blonde. So I'm like, who is this? Like, is it somebody from like another station? I'm confused. Or it could just be a stranger and whatever. And he's like, but I'm sure as hell gonna try. Like, he can't say the word, but I'm sure as hell gonna try. And then we see Carlos in a building with somebody. It kind of looked like maybe a volunteer because obviously this is like a disaster in a sense. So like obviously everyone's gonna help even if you're just like kind of just there during this.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where they are, but like a window does shatter during the scene, and I'm just like,
right. And I think that's where Carlos ends up carrying somebody. I think somebody like I don't know what happened, but I feel like that's where he's carrying somebody out from.
100%. Yeah, I agree.
A brief glimpse and I was like, oh, because the guy was wearing like a red vest, so I thought, well, maybe he's like part of the crew or something like that. Is this rebuilding Carlos's condo or whatever, or is it something else? Completely different.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
So many theories.
I know, right?
Yeah, and then we see like somebody waving somebody down, which I think it was Marjan based off like pictures I've seen from the premiere, the ones that have been, and she's like wearing the same like outfit, so I think it's her. And then we see like Owen with like other people and some like they're yelling somebody's name or they're saying something, but I'm like, who is this? But yeah, I'm so excited. Like after I saw this, I was like, yes, like this is just even better than the other promo we got. And like everyone's like, oh, like when are they gonna do like a longer promo? And I'm like, promos are only like 30 seconds usually, and the people are, it's because they're talking about the one from season 2 where they had interviews in it. I'm like, oh, that's like a completely other thing. And I looked the other day to see when they had done that last year, and I think it was like 2 weeks before that premiere. Doesn't mean they'll do one this year, but I think if they're gonna do one, they'll like release it like a week or two before that episode. But we'll see.
Yeah.
Coming up, y'all.
Yeah, I know. It's hard. It's crazy to believe that like, we are so close. I felt like a few months ago, it was like, oh my God, is it ever going to come? And like now it's like just around the corner.
It's like, oh, hello.
Oh, old friend.
And I imagine right around Christmas or like right after, right before, we might get some more promos or if a longer one.
Our year will be made.
Yeah. I think last year it seemed like we got more just because of like it was farther out, so they were releasing like them like almost like weekly, but I think it's because they started late releasing promos, let alone with filming, so like it seemed longer anyway. So yeah, it's definitely exciting. And like Rodin's teased things here and there, but like other than like it being like TK heavy and it being like Carlos iconic and that kind of stuff, and then like outfits every once in a while, like he just posted a picture of like a new TK hoodie, which that's the one thing I look forward to seeing is like the different TK hoodies and stuff. Like, I know this probably won't happen, but I want it to happen. I want TK to be like, yeah, I'm just buying hoodies because, like, you know, all my other ones burned.
Right.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, yellow hoodie.
Imagine he just has a secret stash back at Owens.
Right? Like he hadn't gotten all of them moved over yet.
Imagine he just keeps his spare hoodies at Owens just in case.
I see it.
Yeah, they're gonna have fire extinguishers in every room of the house.
Yeah, Carlos is gonna like go overboard with like every room.
I kind of want to see that. Like Carlos just has like so many like just measures going like for it, which I love and stuff.
And TK just looks at him fondly and goes, babe, we don't need 3 sprinkler systems in the same room.
Right. So kind of some news, speaking of news and all the updates, we have decided we're going to start going back to weekly updates and weekly postings of podcasts. So you have more of us. You get to hear us more on a weekly basis instead of every 2 weeks now.
You're so welcome.
Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Like all
we have to give you as much 911 content as we can.
Yeah, until you get like just like Lone Star, like, which I'm sure everyone is excited about. Like, I'm excited about it. Like, for my own postings, being able to talk about Lone Star more now.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm excited. And it'll be cool, too, because we'll get back into Abbott. Not like because we've been communicating every week, but it'll be nice to, like, record on a regular basis again and, like, have that consistency. So it's fun. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us and listening. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast on Anchor. We're also on Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts, and almost anywhere you can find podcasts. On iTunes, please rate us and leave us a review. It would mean a lot to us. You can follow the podcast on our socials at 911LS Roundup on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We also have a Discord server, and the link is in our description of the podcast and also in our Instagram bio.
You guys can follow me, Katie, at Full of Tarlos on Instagram and at For Love Tarlos on Twitter.
You guys can follow me, Grace, at Ronan Rafa 911 on Instagram and at Sheepgirl31 on Twitter.
You can follow me, EJ, at EJ8302 on Instagram and Twitter. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.